Good close.
All right, welcome to tonight's call for the money team, and just grateful to be here tonight. And just want to welcome you all to the call and just share with you that I am so great to be a part of the money team. It has been a blessing to me in all aspects of my personal development and my finances as well. It's been part of the money team, learning how to use income shifting strategies, from correcting my W-4 to bring more money into my household, has helped me to pay off cars, to pay off credit cards, and to um, get on a plan to get out of debt. And I'm just grateful to be a part of that, and also learning and learning more and sharing it with others. And for you who are out here that may be guests, welcome to the call, and just want to have you grab a pen and paper to take notes, because we believe that note takers are what? Note takers are money makers. So grab your notebooks and pens and be prepared to take notes. And now I'm going to introduce you to our coach, our leader of the money team, Mr. Wayne Brown.
All right, Miss Tony. It's a pleasure being able to work with you. And like Miss Wanda, I've had the pleasure of meeting you under Mr. Keith Tucker's one of his training calls one night. And when you made the decision to transition to the money team, my God, did you take off and hit the ground running? And you're still in full stride. So, Miss Tony, I appreciate you, everything that you do, the person that you are, and every nugget, every jewel, every bit of wisdom and knowledge that you have, that you've been able to partake inside of the TMT team. So with that being said, I just want you to know that's deep from the bottom of my heart. So without any further or ado, I'm going to ask everyone mute themselves, because we have a special young lady on tonight that's going to be presenting some great information that I believe is dynamic. It may not be the typical presentation that we're used to, but over here we have the juice, y'all. Hey, no chasers, no sugar. We don't have ice because we don't want it watered down. I know that this speaker on tonight is going to give us something that we can use for our individual teams. I know that she's going to give us something that we're going to be able to take some notes from and start applying into our individual businesses. And I also know that Miss Mona Lisa, she is a dynamic leader all over the great state of New York, as well as abroad. So without further ado, I don't know Miss Mona Lisa personally. I don't know a lot about her personally, but what I do know is that she is a God-fearing woman. She is about her money. She is about her business, and she's about helping people. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Miss Mona Lisa, on tonight. And I want you to help us with whatever God has placed on your heart on tonight to share with our TMT team. So, Miss Mona Lisa, you now have the floor. Welcome.
I'm going to start my screen. I'm sorry that what you see in the background, I'm going to change that. This is from a session that I did at work today. And so we have employee resource groups that we do at work, and part of what I do during the day was helping them out. And we had a Follow the Sun event, which actually starts in our offices within the Asia Pac area, and then they go from one region to the next. And so that's a little bit about me and what I do in my day job. I am a mother of three. And as Wayne and I were discussing earlier, wife for I say 4333, and people say, how is that? I met my husband. We've been together for 43 years, but we've been married for 33 years. So that's the 4333. Little bit about me. In my day job, have been there over 35 years. Part of the reason why I joined my econ is because I have the years, I don't have the age in order to be able to retire. And when my business associate, Wanda, approached me about it, at first when she approached me, I said, you know what, I'll think about it, and I'll get back to you. And then she did a presentation, and I sat in on that presentation that night, and I decided to join. And so the main reason was learning about my finances, making sure that everything was in order so I can retire, even though technically, I don't have the age to retire. But again, that's just a number. And so you can retire as long as you have everything in order. And so that was my initial reason why I joined my econ, was to learn about finances, learn about the income shifting, learn about the improving my credit as well. Because once you're retired, you're on a fixed income, you want to make sure that all of that is in place. So, but then once I joined my econ and I started learning more of the principles and the things that were being taught, I came in on income shifting, but then I upgraded to the elite because I wanted to gain all of the benefits that my econ had to offer. So I'm not going to keep you long. I want to share my screen with you. I have a brief presentation that I'm going to go through. So can you see this okay, Wayne?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent. So as Wayne introduced me, Mona Lisa Chandler, yes, that is my name. My parents named me that. Short story, I was the only girl. Both grandmothers wanted my mother to name me after them. I think the painting was at the Met that year when in New York. And so my brother recommended that they named me Mona Lisa, and my mother went with that. So she didn't want to offend her mother or her mother-in-law. So that is my name. And so Wayne asked me to speak, and I was honored and humbled that he wanted me to come to speak before you, but I couldn't figure out, like, what do I have to offer? I started my econ earlier this year, so it hasn't even been a year yet. But then I thought about it. I said, I can bring to the table my perspective and what I would recommend, right, to new associates coming in, and also to probably some reminders for those who have been in the business already. So I'm going to go through this really quick and give you some of the things that I observed and some pointers that I think would be great for newcomers. So what advice would I give? The first thing would be study the Business Management Center. That is the backbone for my econ. There's so much rich information that is there that it's going to take you a while to go through it. And I'm still in there and looking at, all the different documents and information that's located in the automated marketing system. But if you want to be successful, you're going to have to know the business. You're going to have to know the products, know how everything works. And in order to be able to do that, that information in the Business Management Center will get you started. Dedicate time to your business daily. The summer boot camp that we did helped immensely with helping me to structure my day. Ms. Lavonda, I think she spoke and said that we needed to dedicate 2 hours. 2 hours sounds like a lot, right? When you're trying to do 2 consecutive hours, but I broke mine up. So I have 30 minutes in the morning when I first get up, another 30 minutes around lunchtime, especially, you know, if you're working and you have a day job like I do. So I found, you know, that 30 minutes during the day, another 30 minutes in the afternoon, and then another 30 minutes in the evening. So that adds up. Now, if you can do an hour, you know, at any of those intervals, that's great, but you work it so where it fits into your schedule. You make time for it and put it in on your schedule. And it becomes easier when you're doing your business. So you don't have to post every day, but you can take that half an hour to study the back office. You can take that half an hour if you know you're doing TikTok and you want to, you know, create those videos to prepare them for posting. What I do is I also try to create graphics that I post and looking in the back office, taking some of those graphics, using those graphics, customizing them for, you know, for my posts. Attending the Super Saturday and the weekly team meetings is key. You're going to learn from others who are in the business and have been in the business longer than I. So there's no better way for me to be able to learn than learn from others who have already been here, the advice that they give, and helping you to avoid any pitfalls that they may have come across and letting us know. So even if you can attend, I know the Super Saturdays are several hours long. Usually what I do is I take and I listen on those and I take notes. So I'll have my notebook. I have my notebook here, my trusty notebook. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little green. So green is for me is for success. And so I take and I have this notebook dedicated solely to my econ, solely to those trainings, and I write everything down in the book, because sometimes when you go back and you listen to those recordings, you gain more knowledge than when you first listen to them. And also make sure that you know when those meetings are. So for Team P2P, we have our weekly meeting on Monday nights. The marketing is on Tuesday nights. So if your team here has a separate night, just make sure to put that on your calendar. Again, scheduling that time for your business. And like Wayne said, and I've heard this said, also spoken by Keith, is note takers are money makers. So always take notes. Now, if you're old school like me and you want to take it with a notebook, fine. But then, you know, you might be used to doing it electronically. Whatever is most comfortable for you and is going to work for you, definitely make sure to take notes. Meet with your upline on a regular basis. This is especially key for new associates coming in. You want to make sure that you keep that line of communication open with your upline. And this is an opportunity too for you to ask your questions. If you're not sure, the only question that is a silly question is the one that you don't ask. The entire team has been phenomenal. And I think you guys know I'm that kid in the class that always has their hand raised because I always have a question. But I'm learning, and sometimes you might ask a question that other people are thinking and are afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. It's key. Step outside of your comfort zone. So for me, sorry, this is my office mate here. She wants to be loved. So for me, stepping out of my comfort zone meant I'm so used to doing everything on the computer that I was not adept at all to doing everything on the phone. So TikTok, Instagram, a lot of the applications are made simply for you to use from your phone. They're not made for you to use from a laptop or a desktop. So it's key for you to get outside of your comfort zone. You're not going to get the results that you want if you do not take that chance, step out on that leap of faith and go ahead and do it. You can do it, It might take you a little bit longer than other people, but you can still get it done. For me, focusing on one area of social platform at a time was key. When I initially came in and I was attending, the weekly marketing meetings with June, he was moving from one platform to another, and I was trying to do it all as he was going along. And then I realized that I had overwhelmed myself. And so I took a step back and said, okay, I'm going to focus on one area. So what I decided to do was Facebook, I pretty much know, but I wasn't that adept with Instagram. So I made a point of becoming more adept with Instagram. And so now I try to post through Instagram to Facebook. So I'm getting 2 posts out of one, not having to then go to 2 different platforms and using it that way. So definitely take the time to focus. And once you feel that you're comfortable, if you've mastered, that particular area or that that platform, then you can move on to the next one. Key here, don't compare yourself to other people. We see the success that other people are having within my econ. I had to remind myself that I was new and that they were at different levels because they have been with the company longer and have been associates longer than I. So I don't compare myself now to others. I was doing that. And, it creeps in every now and then, right? You look at when somebody's posting something and see the success and wonder how come you're not having that same success. And I stopped doing that because it only discouraged me. And I don't want to be discouraged. I want to be encouraged. So I encourage myself, which brings me to resist the urge to give up. We all get there. We've all experienced that, but don't do it. Just stay the course, be consistent when you're doing your posts, and be consistent in dedicating that time to your business, and you will begin to see results. And celebrate those accomplishments. Every accomplishment that you make is a grand accomplishment. So when I first came in, I remember Mr. Ivy saying that you should have a testimony, right? Every 30, 60, 90 days. Well, my first testimony was that I increased my credit score by 99 points when I started using the My Credit system. My second testimony is then I also made EVP Gold within the 60, 90-day mark. So I'm celebrating those accomplishments because that wasn't what I initially envisioned for myself. But seeing those accomplishments, celebrating those accomplishments has helped me to have that extra fuel to continue with what I'm doing. Work-life balance. I put this here only to say that, you know what? Anything done in excess is not going to be successful. So if you're burning those candles at both ends and you're forgetting about your family, you can't forget about your family, right? A lot of what we're doing is for our families, but you also need to take the time to spend time with your families. We are all want to build our business and we want to be successful with our business, but our families are here too, and we can't ignore them. And you need to take that time to reflect, refresh, and rejuvenate. So this is the end of my presentation. I'll just leave you with this. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I believe in what I can do within my econ. I keep that vision in front of me to help me to continue doing what I do and getting better at it and having success. So I'm going to stop sharing now and say thank you, Wayne, for allowing for me to present. And if anyone has any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Mona-Lisa, this is Wanda. Oh my God, girl, you killed it. You killed it. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you.
That perspective from you, starting this year and stuff, that is definitely spot on, and definitely a lot of people should hear that. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, no, thank you, Wanda. I mean, you're the reason why I'm here at my econ, because you introduced me. And I thank you for your leadership, and Keith for his. You've been supportive of me every step of the way, and continue to do so. And you don't mind when I ask a million questions. So I'm thankful for that as well.
All right, that was a phenomenal, I'm telling you, a phenomenal, loaded presentation. Miss Mona Lisa, you've done fabulous, and we greatly appreciate the information that you shared with us on tonight. I see Mr. Tucker down there. How you doing tonight, Keith? Right, I don't know if you're there or not, but I see you there. Is why I did not want to not recognize you, sir. At this juncture, is there anyone else that have any feedback for Miss Mona Lisa? Any questions about the information that she shared with us on tonight before we move into the next segment of our call on tonight?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Mona Lisa, thank you so much. That was so royally presented. I really appreciated it. So my question for you is, since you've gone over to Instagram, and it pretty much feeds into Facebook, how do you like Instagram? How do you like the highlights and the stories and the posts and the reels?
Mona Lisa, you're muted.
Okay, sorry. Hi, Miss Patricia.
Hi.
Yes, thank you, Wanda. I haven't really done the.
I'm sorry, your volume is kind of low. I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on one moment.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, great. What I've done is I've set it up so where, you know what, hold on one moment. Because I'm on two devices. Let me leave the other one. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, it is better.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
What I've done is I've connected the two, so when I post from Instagram, it then automatically goes to Facebook. So this way, I'm getting the 2-for-1 with doing the post. I haven't really done the reels as of yet because I'm learning.
Okay.
Like I said before, that was stepping out of my comfort zone because you really can't post to Instagram from your computer. You have to, it's built to do it from a mobile. So I have to, what I've started to do is all of the software, so like the Canva, the PixArt, I have Shutterstock that I have a subscription to for the images. I've started to use those solely on my mobile and become more comfortable with creating them and then posting them. So I haven't really, to your question on whether or not I'm seeing the same type of results, because I'm not as consistent, which is another thing that I need to change, and be more consistent with posting on Instagram, because people have started to follow me. And I was like, okay, like I wasn't expecting people to request to follow me on Instagram. Although I have other people that I do follow, there have been a number of people that have started to request to follow me. So I have seen a change in those numbers as far as the number of people, but I just recently started doing that maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, because I got a I had Wanda laughing. I was like, I got a new phone. I don't know if you guys were on one of the sessions I was with June. And I was like, June, I can't do what you're doing because I have an older phone.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and so I finally got a new phone, and I'm learning how this model works because I had a Galaxy 6 or 7, and
Mhm.
now I have a 9.
Okay.
Big difference, right? And
Yes,
what I
yes.
could do and the capabilities. So I'm really having a lot of fun
Mhm.
trying to figure that out. But it's also taken me out of my comfort zone because I did everything from my computer. Everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was not what I say, like a millennial baby. Like if all I really used to look at my phone for was taking phone calls, get a text message, but not actually doing the work on my phone. So I'm learning, Miss Patricia, I'm learning
Okay.
and hope to be a little bit more adept before the end of the year. That's my goal.
Okay, good. I'm still learning as well on Instagram. The other day, I accidentally post something that probably could have gotten me in like real bad trouble. But I went back to the post and I was like, oh my God. So it picked like the first picture that was there, and I didn't know it had picked the first picture, and I was doing multiples. And so I guess I just have to be careful when it comes to like selecting multiple pictures. And for whatever reason, I get turned around when, because when you're doing things on Facebook, you can add music and all that kind of stuff. I
Mhm.
have not yet been able to find how to add music to my Instagram stuff yet, so I don't know. I'm still learning.
Yeah, I know that the features are different from the mobile to for Facebook, from your mobile and your desktop. Because
Mhm.
with your desktop you can't add music. You
Right.
can do, graphics, but you can't add music, but if you do it from your phone, you can.
Okay.
So there are different features between devices when you're doing it, and it's just really taking the time like to just sit and play with it. Like you said, I went in to do something and it selected the very first image I had because that was the first image in my gallery, but that wasn't the image that I wanted. And I have to be conscious of that when I'm looking and I'm going to post. So that would be my only advice to anybody, and especially you, Miss Patricia, because you mentioned it, is just when you're doing it, make sure that you're highlighting the graphic that you want.
Right. Okay. Okay.
But thank you.
Thank
I
you.
have I have to touch base with you because I wanted to find out from you how the six figures session was. I wasn't able to go, so when we have time, maybe next week, I can connect with you and we can talk about it.
Sure, sure, sure. It was a lot of information.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I will
sure.
be in on that call. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for the question. Thank you,
sure.
Wayne, for allowing me to join you today.
Yes, ma'am. Certainly, certainly. My pleasure. Is there anyone else with any questions from what Miss Mona Lisa has presented to us on tonight before we move into the next segment of our call? We don't want to leave anyone else out.
Hi, this is Tony. I don't have any questions. I just want to let Miss Mona Lisa know I appreciate her presentation. It was awesome and very inspired by it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Tony.
All right. I see. Is that Miss Michelle that joined us on tonight? How are you, Miss Michelle? There's a pleasure of having you here on the TMT team. We have Miss
I'm good.
Beautiful, beautiful. We have Mr. Tucker, which is all of our leaders. He's here at the Graces with his presence on tonight. Miss Wanda, she's another heavy hitter in my econ, which is Miss Mona Lisa's sponsor. We have the TikTok queen. I know you know her personally, your sponsor, Miss Patricia herself. and Miss Antoinette Tony Troy. I tell you, we have a serious lineup here on tonight with nothing but dynamic leaders. So, Ms. Michelle, you're in the right place at the right time with the right people to learn a bit about credit on tonight. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And on tonight, I went back in the archive, y'all. So if this looked familiar to you, if you've been around for a while, then you know where this came from. So let me see if I can blow up my screen a little bit. All right. Can you ladies and gentlemen see that very well?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So outside of my econ, what shall I say, before my econ, I was having semi levels of success. I met Mr. Tucker actually met a mutual friend of mine and was sending information to me via that mutual friend. And I kept saying, oh man, I'm fine. Oh, I'm already having success. Oh no, I don't need anything like that. And eventually Mr. Tucker kept calling and kept calling. And eventually I said, you know what? This man is persistent. Let me at least go and see what he's talking about. I was 26 years old at the time. I'm now 36, all right? So I met Mr. Ivy Stokes. He's doing a presentation. He said, you young man, I remember I had a blue suit on. He said, you right there with the blue suit on. He said, come here. So he called me to the front of the room. He said, something special about you. I want you to sit right there. So he sat me right in the front of the auditorium there where they was doing the presentation at that time. Then he asked me, do you know how old I was when I started this business? I said, no, sir. He said, I was 26. His next question was, do you know how old I was when I made my first $1 million? I said, 30. He says, I was 31. He said, you're a pretty sharp young man. I said, well, thank you. He says, what's your plan? So at that time, I said, I wanted to be a millionaire by the age of 30. So around about my 30th birthday, I get a phone call from Mr. Ivy Stokes. Guess what he asked me? Have you made $1 million yet? I said, unfortunately not. This next statement is what changed my perspective. This next statement is what allowed me to know that this opportunity is a one in a lifetime opportunity. When he said, well, you didn't fail. He said, just because you don't have $1 million, just because that was your goal, that's fine. I'm going to teach you how to live the life of a millionaire without having $1 million. Then he says, how would an extra $200 to $500 a month, every single month, help you in your lifestyle financially? I had to think about that. So what would you do if you had an extra $200 to $500 in your household every single month, guaranteed? So I start naming things off. He said, come here, sit down. He called Mr. Spencer LaCapra over there. So now I'm sitting in between two multi-millionaires. And they pull out a notepad and wrote out a game plan to assist me in developing what we see here today. So I know that my econ works if we individuals work our individual businesses. One area that I know a lot of people in my econ is focusing on is on credit repair. And I'm honored to have Mr. Tucker here with me. So I know he's gonna open up and hopefully he has some things to say, comment, give us some nuggets. at the end of our presentation, if he would. But, you know, I love when my leader get the opportunity of sitting back, propping his feet up and looking at how he molded and groomed me to become the such leader that I am today. So some years ago, we in my econ had this, what you see today, as part of our, at that time was called the 750 credit system. All right, but this information is still relevant. And I want to assist each and every last one of you on our call tonight on how to effectively read a credit report. So this is directly from Experian. All right. At the very top, you'll see numbers on this document. And to the right, it explains what that area of the credit report is. Okay. I'm going to touch a couple of things along the way to give you some extra information in certain areas that could be beneficial for those that is working on their credit repair journey. If there's any questions, you can feel free of typing them inside of the chat. And at the end of my presenting this, we can answer any questions that you may have. So when we first get our credit report, you can obtain them right from annualcreditreport.com. The directive is under our My Credit system inside of our income shifting membership there in the back office under the BMC. The very first module, is just informative, telling you how the system works. The next module, you'll be able to get all three of your credit reports, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. We're going to focus on this one tonight, which is Experian, but the same information is relevant for all three of the reporting agencies. Now, notice what I just said. All three of the reporting agencies, because collectively they make up what we know to be the credit bureaus. So that's a note-taking moment, ladies and gentlemen, because most people is under the impression that Experian is the credit bureau, TransUnion is the credit bureau, and Equifax is indeed the credit bureau, but that is not the case. Each one of those are credit reporting agencies that made up together makes up the bureau. All right. So the very first section we see here, of course, is going to be the name of the person that of the credit report belongs to. Then we have your credit report number. The credit report number is relevant once we're making phone communications with Experian. For in this example, they may ask you what's your credit report number, so they can pull up the report and they can see exactly what you see as well. Of course, the report date, so it would be the date that you actually go and retrieve those reports. That would be the report date that you've actually retrieved that report. So if you look over here at number 1 to the right-hand side, it says the report number. You would need your report number to contact Experian online or by phone or by mail. Now, I will tell you this. You can indeed go to Experian.com. You can view your report, put in your report number, click on dispute, and you can start disputing things on your credit online. But that's not the My Econ way, ladies and gentlemen, because you're giving up a lot of rights that you have as a consumer if you dispute things online. So the rule that says if you put out a letter, a dispute, and you do not hear back from the creditor within a desired time frame, normally it's about 30 days, then you can write them again. And because they did not meet that threshold of time or that statute of limitation in time, then you can now request that this account be permanently removed from reporting on your credit report. All right. So it's a little technical, but the information is there at your disposal. Next, what you find is number 2, which helps you navigate through the sections of the credit report using hyperlinks. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm a young man, but I'm old school. So I like doing things still the old school way. So the hyperlinks are fine, but I like to go straight down the page so I don't miss anything. All right. So number 3, we'll find on our credit reports potential negative items. Now, notice I said potentially negative items because just because the credit bureaus or the reporting agencies may consider a specific account negative does not always necessarily means that it's a negative account. Let me give you a prime example. Let's say that you have an account that's reflecting on your credit profiles. And let's say that you had that account open for 10 years. All right. But there was a couple of non-payments. Maybe there was a period of time where you had late payments there. Maybe you went past 180 days, being late. You're right at the borderline of getting this thing wrote off as a charge off, which does not mean that you're not financially responsible for that debt. All right. You're still oftentimes financially responsible for the debt, even though it says close on your credit report, even though it said that that account was charged off. All right. But let's say that there's 10 years of history and about 3 or 4 negative marks under that account. Just because it's under the potentially negative item, it would not be wise to delete that account because you have 10 years of history. All right. History makes up about 15% of your credit scores. So on a long-term account like that, what would we suggest? That you attack the negative item itself. So if it was a late payment, guess what? Let's do a goodwill letter, which is under the 609s and or my credit system. Hey, I fell on hard times. I had some medical issues. All of this, the language is there for you. I'm just paraphrasing it right now. For account so-and-so and so-and-so, account number X, Y, and Z, I would ask that you would forgive the late payments or the non-payment that I displayed on my credit report at this date from this date. You mail it off, certified mail. They receive it. They respond. Most of the time, they're going to say, okay, this is just a one-time thing, but we're going to go ahead and do this for you under this rule. Okay. Let's say that they get done. Look what happened. The negative marks are gone for this one particular account. Now your scores are going to go up by default because you removed negative items and not the entire account. All right. So I'm not going to get too technical with this. I just want, you ladies and gentlemen to kind of, have some pointers that could possibly assist you as in your endeavors on repairing your credit. So potentially negative items, it states items that creditors may view less favorable. It includes the creditor's name and address, your account number, shortened for your security. So at the end, you'll probably find a couple X's. Account status, the type and the term of the account, and any other information that's reported by to Experian by the creditor. Also includes any bankruptcy, lien, and judgment information obtained directly from the courts. All of that could be found in this area. Next, we find the status. So now we're looking under an account. There's a status. So the status on this illustration says paid, but it was past due for 60 days. We have a letter that's accessible to us through the 609 under my credit system that you can actually pay for a delete. So let's say this is one of those accounts that was in collections. All right. You finally say, you know what? I need to repair my credit. I need this matter off of my collections. It's only $55 and it's keeping my scores down for $55. Guess what? I'm not challenging this. I'm not disputing this. I'm going to just pay the $55. Okay. What people do, they pay the debt. Let's say it was only $55. Okay, cool. No problem. They pay it, but it still reports on their credit profile. Even though the status changed to paid, but it still had the negative mark that it was past due 60 days. So just because you pay the debt doesn't necessarily mean that your scores are going to go up. This is a clear indication of that. All right. So this number 4 indicates the current status of the account. All right. So with that, write the letter, pay for delete. Once you send the letter off, you get them to agree, then you send in your payment. So with the pay for delete, you're literally telling them, yes, I will pay this debt. All right. I'm asking that this be deleted from my credit profile 100% permanently and not to be reporting on my credit profile. Once that happens, the whole account is gone. I prefer that we do this with accounts such as this that we may have on our credit profiles, especially if there's negative marks that could be challenging your credit scores. All right. Number 5, accounts in good standings. In this area, it lists accounts that have a positive status and may be viewed favorable by other creditors. Some creditors do not report to Experian. So some of your accounts may not be listed. So let me touch that. I've also been able, since I've been with my econ, to kind of have my own credit restoration company through the information that I've learned through my econ in order to build another accumulated asset. All right. And what I've learned was oftentimes Equifax is the main reporting agency. Every creditor looks at Equifax, hands down. If you notice, if you've already pulled your reports, TransUnion is going to be the smallest, Equifax is going to be the largest, and oftentimes Experian is probably going to be somewhere in the middle. Oftentimes you'll look at your Equifax and don't find those same accounts reporting on your TransUnion or your Experian. So what people think is when they look at a TransUnion or their Experian, hey, my credit not that bad, because they're only seeing the accounts that has been reported to that particular reporting agency. All right. Number 6, the account type. You have revolving debts. You have installment debts. You have different types of accounts, such as mortgage accounts. Anything that's reflected there on the type of account that you're actually indicating on your credit report would be there under this part of your credit report. Account types indicates whether your account is a revolving or an installment debt. All right. Number 7 speaks of inquiries. We oftentimes know this section to be inquiries, soft inquiries, as well as hard inquiries. But sometimes you'll see where it says request for your credit history or request viewed by others. It just depends, how their verbiage is, but it's the same thing. Don't be alarmed. It's inquiries. Okay. So the inquiries is request from for your credit history are logged on your credit report. This is why it's in this section here on your credit report. Whenever anyone reviews your credit or your credit information, there are 2 types of inquiries. All right. The inquiries resulting from a transaction initiated by you. These include inquiries from an application for a credit card, insurance, housing, a loan, what have you. They also include transfer of an account to a collection agency. Creditors may view these items when evaluating your credit worthiness. There's also letters under the 609, under the My Credit System, for inquiries, soft inquiries, as well as hard inquiries. So let's say you're looking at your credit profile and there's, let's say, an American Finance that was there. You went to Pohanka car dealership, just to throw a name out there. You went to Pohanka car dealership and you inquired about a car. You may have not decided to get the car from them, but they did run your credit. Okay. Then technically you gave them consent to do so because you inquired about a vehicle there. But let's say you look at, let's say it's a company called Freedom Rides. You never gave them permission to run your credit. You may have called them on the phone and say, hey, I want to know if I'm approved for that 2021 Mercedes-Benz I got my eyes on sitting out there on your lot. And they decide, okay, yeah, get your information, and they run your credit. You did not give them consent. You can challenge inquiries that you did not give consent to. If there's inquiries on your credit profile that exceeds a 2-year time limitation, you can get them 100% removed, even if you gave them permission to run your credit for that particular thing or particular account. All right. If it's within that 2-year time limitation, then that's where the letter comes in to verify the inquiry that is displayed there. All right. Number 8 speaks of personal information. Ladies and gentlemen, if I couldn't tell you nothing else, this is the beginning. This is where it really all starts. This is where you're going to start getting the responses back from the credit bureaus if you're using the My Credit system, which is clearly going to say this account has been deleted permanently from your credit report. All right. This is no longer going to be reflected upon your credit. All right. So I want to read this top portion to you all. If you can't read or is not legible to you, viewing my screen. So the following information is reported to us by you, your creditor, and other sources. Each source may report your personal information differently, which may result in variations of your name, address, social security number, and etc. As part of our fraud prevention efforts, a notice with additional information may appear. As a security precaution, the social security number that you use to obtain this report is not displayed. The name identification number and address identification number are how our system identifies variations of your name and address that may appear on your credit report, on your report. The geographical code shown with each address identifies the state, the county, the census tract, the block group, and the metropolitan statistical area associated with each address. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something amazing. Number 1, we've all had calls if we have credit, if we fell on hard times and something went into collections. Most of us can probably attest, yeah, I've been there. All right. I personally have been there. So I can tell you this from experience. We get phone calls that sound like this. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, how are you? My name is Wayne. I'm giving you a call from Joe Blow's collection agency. Well, it seems here that we're here to collect the debt on a Comcast bill of $375.99. All right. Is this Mrs. Chandler? You say, yes, this is her. Now, what the collection agency has done, number 1, you don't owe them the money because it's not their account. So you can challenge them to verify that the account belongs to you. You put the burden of proof on them. All right. Then there's other steps that you take. If they say, yes, we verify that this belongs to you. Now you can take it a step further. Hey, what addendum? There's an addendum to ask them, what was the method of your verification? How did you verify this? Well, we verified it by your phone number, email address, social security number, and your physical address. So let's just say that 123 Main Street, Anytown, Maryland, was displayed on my credit report. That was my mother's house. I may have lived there, received mail there, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? In the world of credit, if you did not have a utility bill there, if you did not have a lease there, then technically that was not your address. So you can say, hey, I never lived at that address. Now, this is what else happens behind the scenes. Every single time there's an account. That account is associated with a name, a social security number, and a physical address. So if we get the address removed, if we get the mispronunciation or the misspelling of my name removed, then guess what? The account must be removed as well, because they cannot verify it belongs to Miss Chandler, spelled Candler instead of Chandler. All right, hope somebody gets that. So that is huge. Always challenge the identity first, because this is one of the elements that they try to verify that that's belong to you. All right. Number 9, the address information is your current addresses as well as previous addresses. I've already went through that with you. Then your personal statement. What's the personal statement? Is any personal statement that you added to your report appears here. Note, statements remain as part of the credit for 2 years and displayed to anyone who has permission to review your report. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to walk you through very briefly how to effectively read a credit report. Hopefully this information, of course, fell on good ground. You got plenty of notes. You got some information you can go out here and share with folks. Listen, I got a system in place which we're going to educate you on how to verify that these debts do or do not belong to you. So we advertise it like this. No matter, even if you know the debt is yours, even if you owe the debt, you can still get these matters removed from your credit. My Econ is the only system, the My Credit system is the only system that's going to give you the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's going to give you the Fair Credit Restoration Act. I'm talking the whole act. So if you like, you can download that. You can print it off. Do what I did, get a binder, put it in there, highlight certain things, read it, study. The Bible says study to show thyself approval. So if you want to help people with credit, let's learn more about credit, and let's learn the facts so we can share the facts with people, give them our system, sponsor them in business with us, allow them to go out and share this great testimony with their friends and family members, how Miss Wanda introduced them to a system, how Miss Tony introduced them to a system that they repaired their credit in less than 90 days. They're ready to go for closing on their home within their first year. All right. That is beautiful. If your friend came to you and told you something like that and you needed help with your credit, I know that probably would persuade you. Listen, let me see what they're talking about over here about this My Credit system. This is what we want to create. This is the type of dialogue we want to create with all of our leaders that's here with us on tonight with their potential prospects. So I'm going to go and stop my screen share, and I'm going to open up for any comments, any feedback, any questions.
Hi, this is Wanda. Okay, so the pay to delete. So you only recommend that for accounts that are very low, or even if it's $1,000. I mean, I guess if it's worth to bring your credit score up, does it matter?
All right, great question, Miss Wanda. So what I would suggest, look at every aspect of that account. Look at the age, of the account, the history of the account. Okay. Look at the age of the account, the history on that account. If there's any derogatory marks or if there's any negative marks, then you make the educated decision. Okay, the debt is $1,000. Okay. If I pay the $1,000, just pay it. It's still going to reflect on my credit for up to 7 years before it falls off. But the negative marks still would be there. The only thing that changes is the status to say that it was paid. The only time the pay for delete letter will not work and I'm gonna tell y'all this, you can keep it under your hat, you can share this with your downline, you can tell your prospects, that's solely up to you, but I'm gonna give you facts. The only time that the pay for delete letter will not work is if you make a settlement agreement. That's the only time.
Wow, thank you. Wow. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
So don't settle. All right. Because one, we got to take the proper channel. We got to verify the debt belongs to me, or allow them to verify the debt belongs to you. Then we want to know how they verified the debt. If it's a collection agency, you can threaten them with litigation, especially if it's a medical bill, because it violates your HIPAA law. Everything is there under the My Credit system. As far as the verbiage, the letters, only thing you do is plug in your information, your account information, your account number, mail it off certified mail, and you wait for the response. If they do not respond within that 30-day window, on that 31st, 32nd day, I will be sending my second round of disputes, letting them know, listen, I requested this matter be resolved. I want this not reporting on my credit from this time forward on these grounds, which if you use their rules, they gotta honor their rules. Did I help you out, Ms. Wanda?
Yes, very much so. Thank you so much.
Ms. Brown, I have a question. How many times can you use the My Credit system within within a year? Do you still have to wait that 1 year free credit report rule, or just say, for instance, if a medical invoice was sent to a collection agency and you've already have cleaned your credit, and then that thing goes to the credit bureau, like a collection, can you still use that system within that year?
Certainly. All right. The My Credit system does not ever expire. All right. As long as you are active in your business, not meaning that you're building, you're growing your business, you're cash flowing, that doesn't mean that. All right. What I mean by being active is just paying your monthly renewal fee. All right. What makes us active leaders and want us to start building is when the system works for us. All right. So as long as you're active, you're always going to have access to this information. All right. That's first part. Number two, once you obtain your annual credit report from annualcreditreport.com, that's only one time. Yes. And I don't want this to get confused. Yes, that link is a part of the My Credit system that send us to annualcreditreport.com to retrieve your free downloadable and printable credit reports for all three credit reporting agencies. Okay. Now, let's say 6 months down the road, cleaned up your credit up until this point, you want to revisit your credit reports for all three reporting agencies. So you want to see what accounts came off, if this, some people are a little doubtful. So they say, yeah, I wonder if this really worked. Okay. I know that it does. I use it personally for myself, and I have a host of other people with the same system. So I know for a fact, but oftentimes people got to find out for themselves, which is not always a bad thing. Okay. So let's say 6 months down the road, you already did this 6 months ago. You go back in to the My Credit system, you go back to the link, annualcreditreport.com, and you go to retrieve your credit reports again. You're going to get a message that says, it appears that you've already retrieved your Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax reports within a 12-month time frame. If you would like to proceed, then there's normally a $9.99 fee to retrieve those reports again. That is not my econ. That is from annualcreditreport.com. All right. So to answer your question, yes, as long as you're active, you can always use the My Credit system. And if you wanted to multiple times review your credit reports, then it will come with a fee to get them more than one time per year. Does that help you, Miss Patricia?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Oh, you most certainly welcome. Will there be anyone else with any questions?
Yes, Wayne, I have another question. This is Wanda.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's say you have a medical bill and it goes to collections and you're going to pay this bill. Let's say it's $100. Would it be better to pay the bill to, let's say, the hospital versus collection?
Well, because of the collection agency, I'm showing y'all my insiders now, y'all. I'm showing y'all some of my secret stuff. But and it depends on the account, honestly. Sometimes the hospital will not take the payment because it already went to collections. You know, sometimes I found that they deny that payment because you have to, you know, of course, go through the collection agency at that point because they sold that account to the collection agency. So they no longer have information pertaining to that account. Does that make sense?
Wow. Okay, yes. Thank you. Okay, it does. Thank you.
Yep, certainly. All right, I'm trying to find, see, I got stuff, like here's the pay for delete stuff. I got some stuff from way back when that I still currently use. So let me find this.
Wayne, while you're looking for that, I have a question, and that kind of piggybacks off of what Wanda just asked. And you made a statement that sometimes the organization, right, will not take your payment because they sold that to
Yes,
the
collection agency.
right, to the collection agency.
Mm-hmm.
In reference to that, I had an account that went to collections. I paid it, right? This was before my econ. I
Mm-hmm.
paid it. I have the proof that I paid it. But they sold it then to another collection agency, never recorded that I paid it with the first collection agency. And so now they keep sending me letters saying, you owe this, you owe this, you owe this. I know that I don't owe it. I proved to the second, because this is like the third agency that it was sold to. So I proved to the second agency, like, here, I paid this off with the first agency. Now I'm getting letters, right, from another agency saying that I owe. I checked my credit report, it wasn't there, right? So it doesn't appear in my credit report, but they keep sending me letters saying that I owe it. So based on what I've learned, I have not responded to them, because if I respond to them, then that clock starts again, right? That 7-year clock would start again. But should I request a paid to delete, because it's not on my credit report, but somebody still has it out there with one of the, like, they keep selling it, right, to another agency saying that I owe, when I paid this off years ago.
It sounds to me like you need to go to Attorney General's office on them. Write a letter to Attorney General's office and get them off your back.
Yeah, because I keep getting, my husband's like, did you get another one? And I was like, yeah. He was like, what you gonna do? And I was like, I'm not doing anything with it. I was like, it's not on my report. And the minute that I talk to them or reach out to them, then I'm afraid that it's gonna start this, the clock again, right? So they could then say that this is valid, when in fact, I paid this a while ago. So I'm just wondering, like, how, I don't know if we have any letters to address something like that, but I'm sure that other people may have experienced that, right? Where one agency has sold it to another agency, sells it to another agency, which is what they do. Trying to get you to pay on something that you've already paid.
Absolutely. So I'm a man. I told y'all I'm old school, y'all. I'm old school. I'm factual guy. I can tell you this, but I want you to see this for yourself as well, for your information. Okay. As I said, I also own a credit restoration company outside of my econ. So what you see here is not my econ. All of this is not my econ, but I'm bringing some things to the team and to those that's connecting with our team to help them develop and become more rounded when it comes to credit, because credit is one of our services with my econ. Does that make sense? So what we find here is types of accounts. We're going to speak of a collection account. So typically, in a nutshell, what happened with your situation is you got the account, you paid for it, it was sold to a collection agency, you paid that collection agency or you paid that account. Now they sold it to someone else saying that it was unpaid. Okay, got it. Look at this. Collection accounts. Accounts reported by a collection agency are removed from your credit report 7 years from the date of default of the original account. The date the account was sold to the collection agency does not affect the date the debt is to be removed. Even if the account is sold from one collection agency to another, this date does not change. So to answer the first part of your question, does the clock starts again? No. All right. According to the rule, the Fair Credit Restoration Act does not allow collection agencies to re-age collections accounts when they are purchased from the original creditor in an attempt to keep a negative account on a credit report longer. If a collection agency tries to re-age an account by manipulating the Fair Credit Restoration Act compliance date, that is illegal. So, as Ms. Wanda indicated, this is where it seems is happening in your case, where this is an illegal practice. I've also seen helping, people inside and outside of my econ with their credit, that certain accounts will get sold to one collection agency. They hold it for about 5 to 6 years. Before that 7th year, they sell it to another collection agency. So that's not re-aging the account because the account was sold to another collection agency. So when they get it, that's when, the date of the effective date of the debt begins at that time that they purchased that collection. Did it help you?
No, that definitely helps. Like I said, I paid it. I wanted to just like send them proof that it was paid. I was just afraid that as soon as I even acknowledge, right, anything, that they were then going to try to, because it's not on my report. That was one of the reasons why I wasn't really too bothered
Yeah,
by it, because I checked my report and it's not there. It doesn't show
yes,
up on my report, but they're just trying to get money.
absolutely.
So,
So if it's paid,
so
it's not
yeah.
reflecting on your report, it cannot
Hmm.
hurt you.
Okay.
All right. Because the only thing that can affect your credit scores is the things that's, of course, reporting on your credit report. If it's not reporting, then at this point, I wouldn't give it much energy. However, if you feel it's becoming, overbearing, it's becoming like a form of, you feel that you're being harassed, they're hounding you, just this debt already been satisfied, then there is other means that you can take. So I'm gonna go into the 609 letters real quick, and I'm gonna show you the 609 letters and the letter of litigation. You can actually threaten them with litigation, okay? Oh, my bad. I think that's the wrong module. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. So here's your identity dispute letter, your credit inquiry dispute letter, your credit disputes 1 through 5. So this is where also the debt validation letter and how to remove medical collections. All of that is there at your disposal right under the system. So let me open this letter up for you so we can see the language here, okay? So this is the verification letter. It's already written. All you got to do, where it's read at, you go in, you change it, and you put in your information pertaining to that account, okay? All right, so the number 3 would be good in your case. The original creditor dispute letter. And witness thereof the said party, all this good stuff there.
So, Mr. Wayne, with some of those letters, you do need to have them notarized.
I would prefer that you have them all notarized,
So-
as well as done certified mail.
Okay, so you're showing us specific ones, but the other dispute letters, do you recommend having those notarized as well?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Because I'm a notary, so I can't do myself. I have to take it to somebody else to get it notarized.
Yes, unfortunately. All right, here we go. This is the one I was looking for you. So it's letter violation of the Fair Credit Restoration Act's rights. That's dispute letter number 4. In your case, Ms. Mona Lisa, to whom it may concern, please advise this is my 3rd written request. So that's why I encourage that you follow the My Credit system so that you have a paper trail. You contact them, let them know that it's paid. You ask them to verify the debt don't belong to you. They got to prove that it does, or if it don't, and all of this is documented. So once you get to the phase, if you get to the phase of threatening litigation, then the letter is already here for you, which read as such. And say that I fully intend to pursue litigation in accordance with the Fair Credit Restoration Act to enforce my rights and to seek relief and recover all monetary damages that I may be entitled to under the Section 616 and Section 617 regarding your continued willful and negligent compliance. All right. Dispute 2 written requests. The unverified items listed below still remain on my credit profile in violation of the federal law. You are required under the Fair Credit Restoration Act to verify that this information is mine and is correct. And the results of your first investigation, subsequent reinvestigation, you stated in writing that you verify that these items are being reported correctly, but have not provided a reasonable method of verification. So this, I'm not going to read the whole thing because all of you have access to this, but this is a very good start in your personal situation, Ms. Mona.
Thank you for that. Being that it doesn't show on my report, then I don't know if I'm going to send them a letter or not because it's not on
Yes.
my report. So at this point, I just haven't answered them. Like they
Yes,
keep
that's fine.
they keep sending letters and I see what it is and I just tear it up and put it in the garbage because it's not on my report. I don't know why they keep sending it. I have proof that I paid it, but like I said before, I just didn't want it to start the clock again. So where now it could now show up on my report because I'm in the process of trying to clean everything up. So I definitely don't want anything new appearing on my report. But thank you for that. I will keep that in mind. But I'm also interested in the medical collections and how that works with HIPAA.
Yeah, so I pulled up an article here, and like I said, a lot of the things that I'm showing you ladies and gentlemen on tonight is outside of my econ, but this information is very valid. I use this every day with my other business where I do this every day. All right. So I'm telling you, you ladies about to be in for a treat. You're going to read it for yourself where it says how to remove medical collection. HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. That's what HIPAA stands for. This privacy rule mandates that your personal medical information may not be shared unless there is permissible reason for doing so. HIPAA extends to credit reporting agency and collection agencies as well. The HIPAA law will assist you in dealing with delinquent medical collections accounts because in order for the collection agency to verify your debt, they will need to access your medical information. All right. If they have access to this information, your rights under the HIPAA law, what's the next line? Can somebody read that to me? That your rights under the HIPAA law,
Have been violated.
Violated.
all right. So you get it straight off the press. You ain't gotta believe me, I'm showing it to you. So this is a great, just to go back to building, this is a great way to become informed. So when you got friends and family members, co-workers, people that you're listening to, you now have, factual information and you have the tool to help them resolve it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. As we go on and continue, the HIPAA dispute letter template will frighten the collection agencies and credit bureaus and remind them that they fully validate your validation letter on your medical bills. They are violating your HIPAA regulations and are doing criminal activities. The HIPAA law do not allow your doctor or healthcare provider to share your medical files without your consent under a HIPAA release. There has been no increase of doctors as before a HIPAA release to be signed by you. However, this only allows them to share with other medical professionals, not third-party collectors. Make sure you cross out everyone other than the party intended to receive your medical information. Do not sign a full HIPAA release. The medical dispute letter should be used after you send out the collection account validation letter. The collection account validation letter template are included with this documentation. All right. The collection agency occasionally sends your medical records as validation. If they do, you now have proof that they have broken your HIPAA law, a major violation of the Privacy Act laws. There are 2 rounds of HIPAA dispute letters included inside of this documentation. Start with the first round, wait the 30 days to response, and then go for your final round of the HIPAA dispute letters. All right. So hopefully that information also helped you answer your question, Ms. Mona. All right. Did that help you, Ms. Mona?
It did. Praise God, I don't have anything as far as medical collections go, although I have a lot of medical bills, but haven't had that. So that is helpful though to know, because you sign all these papers when you're in the doctor's office, and I try to read everything before I actually sign anything and give it back to them. But this is helpful to know that, they can access certain information, but not the financial piece of it.
Absolutely. Anything that goes against the HIPAA violation would, give you a leg to stand on if, you or someone that you're helping have medical collections reflected on their credit profile. All right. Will there be any more questions? Any more feedback? Any more comments?
The only feedback I have is I want to say thank you again to you and your team for inviting me to be a guest. Thank you for the information that you presented. This was extremely helpful and also helped me to gain a little bit more knowledge. I'm still working on, the My Credit system. So this definitely helps in that journey. And I hope to be able to report back to you that I am in that 800 club right along with Wanda.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
So that is my goal. And I look to have that testimony to you guys within the next year or so.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, great. Would there be anyone else? Anyone else? Don't be shy. As Miss Mona Lisa said, the worst question is the question that you don't ask. All right, we don't want to leave anyone out. I see Miss Michelle. Are you still out there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, beautiful. You have any feedback for us on tonight?
No, not at the time.
All right. Do you believe that the information, could help you with your credit repair journey?
Yes, for what I've seen so far.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, reach out to your sponsor. If you need any help, we're here. We have a team of people in place waiting to assist you. All right. All right. So there's one more thing that since we're here, since we're talking about credit, let me close all this stuff out real quick. And this was actually an inspiration from Miss Patricia. Believe it or not, she always pushes me, pushes and pushes and pushes me. Um, but it's all good because it is beneficial to us all. All right, let me find the documentation that I'm looking for. Then we'll go ahead and discuss that. Then we will be done. All right. So this is something else that I do outside of my econ, um, which is inform people on credit. This is a workbook. It's basically like a module, all right, on changing folks' mindset about money or encouraging them to change their mindset about their finances. Um, got certain questions. What do you think about money? What is important to you that can be brought with money? How did you learn to handle money? And who influenced your ideas about money? We want to get inside of the psyche of the person, so we can help them plan their goals and set goals that's obtainable. So there's actually like this one here, needs versus wants. What are 5 material things do you need to survive at a minimum? Each individual person will have the ability to write down what those things are because for every person, it may vary. Okay. So, in a nutshell, this is like a course, a credit course that I'm putting together and possibly going to introduce it to the entire my econ family. I haven't decided if it's going to be free or if it's going to come with a fee, but this is a lot of collected information put in one that can be very, very beneficial to our journey changing our financial forecast. So, with showing you all this, this has been an inspiration from Miss Patricia Martin Malcolm. She always encourages me, Wayne, we got to do this. Wayne, we should think about doing something like this. So I just want her to know, I hear you. I'm still old school, but I'm not biased to trying something and also implementing the business practices that's been working for me over the last few several years, um, and complementing my other assets. So with this, some of us are on other teams, some of us have different teams. We all coming together, as I believe God is inspiring me to reach out to certain people, because we all have something different to bring to the table. So I'm thinking to actually make this a course, rather get the details in place. So how, if you can open your mics, how would you guys like something like this?
Is this something that can go to a challenge?
Well, that's thoughtful. It possibly could. So I was thinking along the lines of it's basically a 22-page document. It got worksheets here that can encourage folks to participate, of course. Um, so
22, 22 pages. I'm sorry. 22 pages is a lot. Not to say that, I wouldn't read it, but if it's a course that you're either going to introduce to the associates within my econ, or I'm thinking more outside, right? And that you would charge for, that's a lot. And to be honest with you, you and I are old school. but a lot of people don't read like that today. This younger generation
Everything is
is,
on
They read in
electronics.
snippets.
yeah,
They read snippets.
they're more for, if I can't see it in 30 seconds, then I'm not staying on any longer, right?
Mhm.
To do, let alone have them read. Like they're more geared toward the visual,
And
right?
pictures.
And yeah, pictures, visual, right, exactly. So you would have to, what I would recommend is tailor it to two different audiences. So you would tailor it right to the millennials who are more on a visual, right? Try to like take your main points in each one of those chapters and kind of like draw them in. And then you have, others like us, the old schoolers, right, who would actually sit and take time to either read through it or actually go through it. So that's my only recommendation. And it's funny, the thing that you brought up first, need versus want, that is something that I have taught my sons from day one. It's like, is it a need or is it a want? In reference to how they're spending their money. And I think I went overboard with that because, to be honest with you, they're cheap. Like they don't want to, they are so cheap. They're like, yeah, if I don't have to spend money for this, like, and I'm like, but it's okay for you, to spend a little bit on yourself. And they're like, so I think I took it maybe to the extreme, but it's definitely a good concept because we have been geared to be consumers, and not, and having things when we want it. Like nobody has the patience to wait. Like if I want it, I got to have it now. And I think a lot of the people within our society have been geared that way because everything has been made easy for you to get. Like you swipe your card, you get it. Before, like old school, you had to write a check, right? You really,
Yes.
or you were using a credit card, not so much debit. So um, the concept is a lot different now. And, like Miss Patricia said, it's more instant. Like they want everything now. They have no patience to wait for anything. Just my 2 cents.
All right, and that's very valuable. And I'm quiet because I'm brainstorming as you're speaking and processing or downloading things to try to make this work for everyone. Bringing a little extra to the table that's tangible that could help us grow as well as benefit from it personally when it comes to our credit and our financial situations.
Well, what just came to mind when you were saying that, and I'm sorry not to cut you.
Oh, you're fine.
Thinking about the TikTok, right? So Miss Patricia, I would love for you to weigh in on this because I think you know about TikTok a little bit more than I do. But TikTok is usually what, 15, 30 seconds, right? So if you're trying to sell this to the millennial generation, um, which I think with Catherine and others, like they're doing phenomenal, right? In that area,
Mhm.
then take those chapters and just create a TikTok just based on that concept. You don't have to go into detail, right? It's just the concept. So, whatever your chapter one, whatever your chapter two, whatever your chapter three is, create your TikTok or a video or a reel based on just the concept. Once you get them in, then you can give them more information. But the key is, right, getting them in.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was just actually, thank you for saying that, Mona Lisa. I was just actually reading um, um, a, a story that Candace had posted. And of course, we saw on the leaderboard, those of us who are have access to the Six Figures group. I think so far she's probably put in well over, I'm thinking they said like last night, I think John said over
89
89 people. And so
overnight.
what she said was, and I mean, I don't study them religiously, but because they are having massive success, you know, on TikTok, when you put out a TikTok video and it goes viral, and you have maybe 600 people or 700 people that you're having to respond to, and not only with that one video that may go viral, they go back and they look at like all of your videos, right? They look at, and when I say they, I'm talking like if they like that one, they're gonna look at all of them and they're gonna respond to just about all of them. So you may think that you're getting, you know, one or several from that one video, but it's coming from all of your videos that are posted. And so this is what her post says. She says, all right, y'all, I'm gonna clock out. This was just a few minutes ago. She said, all right, y'all, I'm gonna clock out and take a quick nap. I literally did not go to sleep last night and haven't slept for the past 72 hours. I texted everyone that had joined. So just join the group and start the training. If you text me, just give me a couple hours to respond so I can rest and have enough energy to be on go. And then it said, to the people who register from this point forward, be patient for me to text you. Thanks, guys. So she literally shows a picture of herself laying in bed where she's burning the midnight oil trying to respond to these people. But I'm telling you, if she did not have like a visual, you know, that visual stuff that they look at, she would be staying up probably a little bit longer, which is why something that is visual, a video to get people, you know, get them interested instead of communicating like copy and paste, but sending actual videos. It would make it really taxing on a person even if they do this full time, you know, sitting at your laptop or your handheld for 12, 13, 14 hours a day, which is what we're trying to really get away from. It can be a double-edged sword. So anything that is 15 seconds, 60 seconds, I think there's a 30 seconds too.
3 minutes.
And 3 minutes. But the goal though is to go is to get those 1,000 followers so that you can go live to communicate directly with your audience. And then from the live, then they can ask you all the questions that they need to ask you, and then boom, they get in. They enroll from there. That's the objective.
Miss Patricia, do you really think, okay, because I know that they're probably already past that 1,000 plus, right? But do you think they're really answering people?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, I had that's Michelle will tell you that's how I met Michelle. I met Michelle on the video that I actually have. I haven't even looked at it lately because when I look at it, it's like, oh my God, I cannot believe that this thing has been viewed that many times. I've got a video that has been viewed 599,600. It's been viewed that many times and with over 908 comments. So I haven't even gotten to the bottom of those yet, but I'm telling you, day in and day out, I'm sitting here with my upper body is like, I have to lay on the floor sometimes to just kind of straighten it out. So having an automated system to respond, there are some things that, you know, when people, they ask you like questions like, well, how do I get this? No, you don't have a template for everything. You don't have a script for everything. So sometimes you just literally connect with people, which is why I like to call people and I like to talk to them, especially if they have a lot of questions. a lot of questions. But yeah, when they say that they respond, they do respond. I'm one of them. If you can go and look at, my TikTok video, the one that's got 5.99, you scroll down, you'll see that some are like 7 days, 8 days. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't even got to the bottom of them yet, because TikTok has I don't know, that it's like you see the newest first, and then you just keep going from there. But it's a great lead magnet. It's a great lead magnet. And you connect with people. Some people, I was out somewhere and right, okay.
Mari.
So Michelle, Michelle,
Yes, I'm here.
can I ask you a question? How, when you responded to the TikTok, when you commented, how long was it afterwards did I respond to you? Do you remember?
Actually, I didn't do it via TikTok.
You did it? It was Instagram? You did, how did you, was it Instagram?
There was a problem with the TikTok.
With the
So I had
TikTok
to send you
link?
an email.
Oh, okay. Because I know that when you're in TikTok, you have to copy the link, because it does not make the link active in TikTok. So you have to copy the link into your browser in order to, go to where you needed to go.
Thank you, Miss Patricia. Yeah, because I'm just thinking he has a lot of content that's there.
Mhm.
And again, the younger generation is just not reading all of that. Like, they're not going to take the time to read it. So in order to be able to make it appealing, you definitely have to just do, whatever those
Like streamline the bullet.
yeah, for sure. Well, not even streamline bullets. So he has multiple headers, right, within that document. So let's just say, for example, he had 10 headers. Each header could be a different TikTok.
Right.
You don't have to go into detail
Right.
with it, but you're introducing 10 different concepts with 10 different TikToks. When the people contact you, then you can give them more information, right? Because you want to entice them. It's more of a teaser for them to be able to join you. And then once they join, or they inquire, then you can give them a little bit more information.
Right.
Afterward. But as far as trying to draw them in, nah, that's not gonna. Listen, their attention span. No offense to any millennials on this call, but their attention span is not there. It's just not. They 20 minutes. I'm not even. Not minutes.
No.
But like,
let me just say, okay, so one of the things that was in the training down in Atlanta was that CJ Carter, he said, when people are scrolling through their TikTok, if you do not get their attention within the first 3 seconds, which is why sometimes that downbeat, when it first comes on, you point up. So you got their attention by, first of all, pointing up. And he said, all after 6 or 7 or 8 seconds, forget it. If you didn't get their attention, sorry, they keep scrolling.
They keep going. Yeah.
They keep scrolling. Yeah.
And that's the generation, right? So, it's not us. It's not us, it's them. So, we have to be able to adapt to what it is. And so for Wayne, if this is what he's interested in doing and introducing it, and that is one of the platforms, right, that he's interested in, I would just recommend take those main headers and create a TikTok just based on the header. And then once they're in, you can give them more information, because now they're clicking, you got their interest, they're clicking, they want to know more, and then you can take it from, because once they're in, you have their information. Now you can provide them with a little bit more. I would not introduce, because you know what, I don't think, and I don't know if this is a generational thing, but I don't think the younger millennials are interested in doing training, because that to them just means that I have to spend X amount of time doing something, right? As opposed to the quick, let me show you, like with the TikTok, like you said, right? It's just quick, you're in, you're out.
Yeah. And they are, they grew up on videos. They grew up
Mm-hmm,
on video games.
mm-hmm,
So if you give them a video, they can rewind it. They get everything that they need to know from a video.
right. I
So,
mean, like with my sons, one is going to be 21, the other one's 27.
mhm.
And, I know that like the 21-year-old, I was like, okay, I need you to do something for me. And so he's a graphic designer. And so I was like, I need for you to do something for me. And it was really very simple. It was just taking an audio file and
Mhm.
downloading it so I could use it at work. He's like, well, you can do this. And I was like, no, I need for you to do it for me. Like, he was like, okay, send me the link and I'll take care of it. Like, all of, I want to say like 2 minutes that we talked. Like,
Mhm.
he was not interested in a whole lot of detail.
Right.
Just get to the point,
Right.
and I think a lot of them are that way, the younger generation is that way. They just want you to get to the point. They don't want a lot of
Yeah.
fluff.
They don't want the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm in a group on Facebook, and I am not gonna say unfortunately, but I the description that was given was because when you give backstory, it clutters the real. It clutters what the facts are.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's just not it's not necessary.
Well, not for them.
Right.
They don't feel that they need all of that fluff. Just
Mhm.
get to the point. Give me, the essentials,
Okay.
and then keep it moving. So Wayne, we're talking, but you haven't weighed in.
No, I'm not gonna interrupt. I'm processing.
Okay.
I hear what you guys are saying. I don't want my thoughts to come off as being weird or for the lack of any other
No.
word. Um, but I hear you. I'm going to do that, Miss Mona and Miss Patricia. I'm going to
Mhm.
take a lot of the information that I have. I'm not focused on credit, honestly. I own a credit restoration company. I got employees with that business. I have a dynamic team with my econ business. We have credit repair system with my econ. I have other information as I shared with you ladies on tonight, and gentlemen on tonight, outside of my econ that has helped me with my econ business. So my attitude is, if I can make money multiple times with the same information, why not? Because that's where I'm going with that. However, the millennials, honestly, they don't have credit. This is what I'm finding. So when they contact us, it's more or less they trying to establish credit. They want to know about credit boosting. My econ doesn't offer credit boosting or any information towards that within my credit system. But with my credit restoration company, we help with credit boosting. That kind of accelerate their credit scores almost instantaneously once they come on board with my company, of course. All right. So I hear very clearly the suggestion. I
Mr.
am
Wayne,
yes.
Mr. Wayne, I know you. I know come maybe tomorrow, there's going to be a whole different alternative out here. I know you because you've just, everything that has been suggested, you've taken it and you flipped it and it's 30 seconds long. I know you. I know you because that's Wayne. That's yours.
That's the juice. All right. Oh yeah. For y'all that don't know, the juice is, since we keep talking about this juice, you're like, what did they talk about this juice? Everybody should know about the juice already. But if you don't know what the juice is joining. It's an acronym that we use with TMT, which stands for joining us and creating excitement.
That's the
Um,
secret sauce. That's what you're saying. You
No,
got the
ma'am.
secret sauce.
No, ma'am. I do not have the secret sauce. Cedric Williams has the secret sauce. I don't have the secret sauce. Cedric Williams with GMT, the Getting Money team, he has the secret sauce.
Okay.
That's how I learned how to prospect so well, through Cedric. All right. That's how I learned how to close, through Cedric. But he's an old school heavy hitter, multi-millionaire through my econ and different assets he's been able to generate. I've sat with him. I've done training with him. We got pictures together on my social media page. You know, I've been in the room with some heavy people. But as all of us, we have to find what works for us and we have to duplicate those efforts. This is how these folks has become super successful in my econ. No one person can tell you that they did this without somebody else.
I
All
agree.
right. All right. So my point of this discussion is building. I'm about building business. All the whistles and bells, all of the credit systems, all of the identity theft protection, the nutrition, all of the products, that's fine and well. The travel, that's cool. I use it myself, but I would rather prefer to build a business. So I have more people that I can leverage, that I can educate, that now gets the training that we're instituting, putting in place. So I don't have to focus on building as much, then I can focus on product sales. That's just my thinking. You know, I can make more money in building than I can in product sales. All right. So I'm gonna be working on some things over the next couple of days. You're gonna be seeing some things come out real soon. So I'm super excited about that. I appreciate everyone for their participation on tonight, your feedback, your questions, your suggestions, you know, is all well noted. And as I stated, there's some big things that's about to come down the pike with the entire TMT team. But you know, as the facilitator over the team, as the leader over the team, I want to take people with me. I've oftentimes tell the team, if I make it to infinity, CEO infinity, and I'm the only one that do it, okay, well, Wayne did it. That's not beneficial to me. It's cool. I made some money. I got some rank in the company. I'm recognized as leader. You know, whatever, you know, I'm all got all these plaques and awards. That's well. But at the end of the day, my attitude is, if I'm the only one winning, then I'm not an effective leader. Effective leaders duplicate their efforts through leveraging other people, edifying other people. There's a lot of things, as you've seen in my little archive. I have marketing things. I have a lot of host of credit things. I have the articles and things that are very informative, but I personally use it for my growth with business development and things like that. But I don't bring a lot of this to the forefront when it comes to my econ business, because some people just won't accept the information because it's not a part of my econ. That doesn't mean that it's less valuable or that it's not factual. It's just that some people, you know, see things certain ways. So I try to, you know, allow my econ to be the perfect marriage to everything that we already have going on, and to assist us in reaching our common goal, which is to be able to retire before the age of 65, to be able to have enough money to live the dream. All right. And everybody's dream could be different. You know, my dream is to buy an RV, free and clear, cash money, at least 6 months of the year, travel the United States. that's one of my dreams. That's what I want to do. So I have to have assets. I have to have, things in place that's going to allow me to accumulate the capital through these assets and through these vehicles so that I can now make that dream a reality. So I'm getting very close. I'm getting very close. I have some people on my team that's been very, very successful in short periods of time. And, all of us got to win. That's my attitude. All of us got to win. If you're a part of TMT, you should be getting some money because that's what we stand for, the money team. All right. So without any further ado, like I say, I appreciate everything that everyone that brought to the table on tonight. This is just a beautiful thing to be able to connect with like-minded individuals that have the same common goal and that want to help other people along the way. Now it doesn't become sales because you use the product and services for yourself. You tell somebody how it worked for you, and they're going to want to do it. It's just that simple. All right. So if there's no more feedback, no more comments, no more questions, I'm going to go one more time. If there's not, I'm going to ask Ms. Patricia if she will close us out on tonight.
Wayne, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been a very informative meeting, I may add. And I know that we will take exactly what you've said with what Mona Lisa have said, and we will share it with those people that we come in contact with. And we appreciate everyone who took the time out of their schedule this evening to become a little bit more educated about the credit repair system and about MyEcon. And with that being said, we are going to say good night and we wish you a great remainder of the week. And if you have any questions, the Facebook chat group is available and you have my phone number as well. So with that, everyone have a wonderful evening and God bless.
Thank
night.
you.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you. Good night and God bless.
Thank you. Good
Thank you.
night.
Good night.
Good night.